Open Concept Homes by Taylor Morrison on View Lots right here in the Austin, Texas metro. In this video, I'm walking you through one of the most popular floor plans you can build on a 50-foot wide lot with Taylor Morrison Homes. This is the Bordeaux plan, and throughout this video, as we tour this model home, I'm going to show you various lots around communities in the Austin metro area that you can build this floor plan. Now, what I've heard many of my clients say when touring a floor plan like this is they love the tall ceilings. You see that right when you walk in through the front door. You're going to see that in the living room, and you're going to see great design upgrades throughout the home that will highlight throughout this home tour. Now, the main reason why this floor plan is so popular is because of the versatility in options that you can select in this plan. For example, this can be anywhere from over 2,900 square feet to over 3,300 square feet. This can be a 4-bed, a 5-bed, or a 6-bedroom home. It can be anywhere from 3.5 bathrooms to 5.5 bathrooms, and it can be a 2-car or a 3-car garage. Now, for this specific home, I do think there is one structural upgrade that's missing, and I'm going to highlight that later on in the video. My name's Raj Sahu, by the way. I'm a realtor in Austin, Texas, and I've represented clients with 20 different builders. So I'm going to offer you the perspective of walking these homes with dozens and dozens of clients who are actively building both with Taylor Morrison and many other builders across the Austin metro area. Now, what so many of my clients love about new construction is selecting the different upgrades that you can put into your home. And that starts really here in the kitchen. Like, you can select your backsplash, you can do a designer vent hood here. There's so many different options you can do. And that's why builders make these model homes. They want to give you inspiration so that when you build from scratch, you already have some ideas in your head of what you want to do based on these model homes. Also, builders like to showcase these floor plans and give you the flow of this space. Like, for a lot of my clients that tell me they want the dining room a part of the main living area so it all feels like one space, well, that's exactly what Taylor Morrison did here with the Bordeaux plan, where you have an 8-seater table in front of us that I'm going to show you in detail, has 3 windows off of it, and feels like it's still a part of that kitchen and living room area. Now, while we look through the pantry, just know later on in the video, I'm going to show you lots in very popular communities in the North Austin area. One of those areas is going to be the Travisso community, which is located in Leander, Texas. Another one is going to be in the top-selling community in the Austin metro area based on units sold as of last year. That's going to be in Santa Rita Ranch. And then if you want a larger home, you like the 60-foot wide lot homes that you've been seeing online, I'm going to show you the newest floor plan that Taylor Morrison is offering, the Tremolite plan in Santa Rita Ranch that's currently for sale. And then by that time, we'll discuss pricing and I'll tell you about the differences between North and South Austin. This model home is located in South Austin. It's in a community called Six Creeks in Kyle, Texas. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about Six Creeks in a little bit, but I wanna focus in on this living room because this is what it's all about. In a 50-foot wide lot, there are very few options that have open to the second story in the living room area, windows off the back wall, off the side wall, as well as there in the dining room, where everything feels so spacious, even at this square footage. And don't get me wrong, 3,000 square feet or around that is not a small home by any means. But what I mean by stating at this square footage, feeling open, Taylor Morrison in some of these communities, this home is built on the smallest lot that they have. For example, later on in the video, I'm going to talk about Travisso and show you some of the lots that are available in Travisso. And in that community, they have 50, 60, 70, and 80-foot wide lots. So homes like the Bordeaux plan on a 50-foot wide lot is actually one of their lowest lot sizes that they offer in that community. And while we're in the primary bedroom, which has 3 windows that also looks off the back wall, if you like views and you like the topography that's here in the Austin metro area, stick with me. I'll show you one of my clients' lots that's currently building in that community of Travisso on an 80-foot wide lot, and they have an amazing view off the back of that lot. I'll also get to the back of this home where we are backing up to some greenery. And I'm going to point these things out because this is what so many of my clients call me about, is when they reach out to me, they tell me they live in Seattle, or they live in California, or they live in one of the cities that's in the northern part of the United States. And they say they love the greenery that they back up to, but they can't stand the weather, especially in Seattle where it rains constantly. I've told my clients, yeah, it's tough when 6 months out of the year it rains in Seattle, and they say, no, not 6 months. 9 months out of the year it rains. And then they tell me that they love the topography in that area. It's so beautiful, but they just can't enjoy that area. So they want to move to Austin, Texas, where they can get greenery and some good weather throughout the year, other than maybe July and August in the summer where it is brutally hot here. But other than that, it's much better in comparison from what I've heard from all my clients that have moved here. And this is also a lot better. Tile with a lot of movement going all the way up to the ceiling in this primary bathroom. Good window in this primary bathroom, bringing in some natural light. And these are some of the things that so many people call me about, is they love the design upgrades that they see in some of these model homes. They have all these ideas, and so the idea of finding a lot and building this floor plan, or some of these floor plans on that lot, is their absolute dream. And I gotta tell you, it is a lot of work to do those types of things. A lot of realtors, I think, steer people away from building from scratch just because it's so much work. And instead of a 30-day turnaround time on a resale home, some of these homes take 8 months, 9 months, 12 months. I've even had homes take 22 months to build, where it is quite the journey, quite the process. But in the long run, I always find it's well worth it. And by the way, 22 months is because of the pandemic. I don't have too many people building that long unless you're going through a very large custom home or something like that. Most of my clients right now are building somewhere between 6 and 12 months. 22 months, I shouldn't even bring that up. Some of my clients, if they were listening to that, they would roll their eyes, because that was them building through the pandemic when we had lots of supply chain disruption, and we just aren't seeing anything close to that now that we're post-pandemic. Now, getting to the backyard patio, we have a space that looks out to greenery and a roadway here. This is just a model home, so just keep that in mind. Not all lots look like this, and not all lots are gonna look the same either. But if you want an idea of what sections that are coming up in communities that are very popular because of the rolling topography and the views that are there, well, then check out this. Now, we are just 1 to 2 months away from this new section that's opening up here in Travisso. So if you're wondering where you can build the Bordeaux plan with Taylor Morrison, just look right behind me. And if you want more details on this, reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video. Back to the video. Now, that just gave you a glimpse of the hills that are there in that community of Travisso, which is located in a suburb northwest of Austin, Texas, called Leander. Now, there are so many great parts of Leander, so many developments that are coming to that area. I will cover that later on in the video when we get to that home for sale with Taylor Morrison that's over 3,500 square feet. And by the way, that's going to be called the Tremolite plan. It's one of their newest plans that they're offering in a lot of communities where they build forever homes. Now, one thing I want to show you here is this is just the builder's office that would normally be closed off, and then there would be access around the corner to a 2-car garage or a 3-car garage, depending on the structural upgrades that you do in this plan. What I mean by structural upgrades is these are big changes to the floor plan that are usually offered as options by the builder. For example, at the time I'm recording this video, Taylor Morrison currently uses this bathroom as just a powder bathroom, and that means it's just a commode and a sink, so it does not have a bathtub. But the room that we're about to see next, that's right next to this, is a flex area. Now, they keep that as a flex area because you can either upgrade that as a study, which would usually add double doors to the front of that flex area, or you could make that into a bedroom and make this a full bathroom, and that would give you 2 bedrooms downstairs and 3 bedrooms upstairs. But of course, you would be taking out your option to use as a study here on the first floor. And for a lot of my clients, that is an absolute necessity. A lot of my clients are in tech, so they work from home, or they have some sort of element of working from home, and so they have to have a study. But they also tell me that they have aging parents that they don't want going up and down the steps. So having both Downstairs, a second bedroom, a spare bedroom with a full bathroom downstairs, along with a study, is an absolute must-have. Now, when I mentioned this plan is very versatile earlier in the video, this is exactly what I meant. This room without the closet can be a study. So they would take out this closet, it would add double doors on the front of the room, and it would open up right into the hallway, kind of close to the front entrance of the home. So it wouldn't have this door that's a little bit more private. This is what a bedroom upgrade looks like. So I know they have a desk in here, it looks like a study, but this is the actual full bathroom bedroom upgrade. Instead of doing the bedroom in this area that takes out your study, you can do a bedroom in place of the 3-car tandem garage. And that would be closer to the utility room where they have laundry. And we didn't really see that. That was tucked away on the side of the kitchen, kind of right through the kitchen, in between those 2 kitchen cabinets beyond the kitchen island there is access to a utility room. And in that utility room, make it a little bit smaller if you did the upgrade. They didn't do it in this specific home, and that's the one room that I felt like was missing in this specific model home. But I did have clients build this plan, the Bordeaux plan, in Travisso, and they told me they're in tech, they have to have a study, they also have parents they want staying on the first floor. So we did that upgrade where we got a second bedroom with a full bathroom downstairs, and we got the study. And even if my clients were not in tech, I would have told them we should be going for those types of upgrades, because that will absolutely come back to them at future resale, especially in areas in North Austin where that community of Travisso is located around 17 miles from Apple's new campus that they're building, and where there's a lot of tech workers going. Microsoft's close by, Amazon's close by, and there's a lot of tech moving to that area. So having these different rooms that people need, like a study, second bedroom down, while still feeling open concept, and while still getting some of the rooms that you see on the second floor, like that game room that we just saw, and 3 bedrooms, these are things that are very important to them. And for my clients that built in Travisso, we ended up at a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom home on a 50-foot wide lot. And again, you just don't see that many options on 50-foot wide lots with many different builders that have that type of square footage and that many rooms like this plan can offer. Now, throughout this video, I've continued to mention lots and building from scratch. And for so many people, they ask, why would you go through that and build on a specific lot and go through that process of making all these different selections? And my first answer is, well, you get more of what you want, right? You can take these plans and do the upgrades that really resonate with you, and upgrades that you'll actually use when you're living in the home. But the second reason is because of amazing lots that have topography or back up to a view or a greenbelt or something like that. And to give you an example, let me show you one of the lots that my client's building with Taylor Morrison right here. Now, I'm standing in one of the lots that my clients are building on in Travisso. Now, they're building the Catalina plan with Taylor Morrison, and I'm so excited because they have this view off their backyard, and they put in that second floor balcony, and they put in so many things that are gonna give them so many different angles of the view off their backyard. So if you're looking for lots like this, reach out to me. Back to the video. Now, I don't know if it was shown in that video, but basically off the back left of that home, there's more of a view because there's more of a drop off, and then there isn't a neighbor to the left of that lot. So we purposely oriented the home where the garage, we could pick if the garage was on one side or the other, and then that changes the location of every single room. So the whole home would be flipped. And what we wanted is we wanted the balcony and the patio in the back left of the home. So we purposely oriented the garage in a certain way so that the view and the windows and the second floor balcony were all looking out to the green belt and the privacy that's off the back left of that lot. Now, there is definitely privacy on the back right, but there is a neighbor to the right of us. It's not a huge deal, but it's some of these small things that make a difference, especially when you can make these different selections in how the home is oriented. Also, that lot was an over 80-foot wide lot, so we can even pivot the home and tilt it in a way that got us more of a view. And so there's some really fun things that you can do when you build from scratch. Like I mentioned earlier, it can definitely be a lot more work. It's a lot more selections. It's a lot more options that you have to pick from. But at the end of the day, it gets you just more of what you want. And I find it's more rewarding if you're willing to go through that work and you have flexibility on your side by building and waiting, months for your home to be complete. Another option, if you don't want to wait months, is to buy an inventory home. Now, simply put, an inventory home is something that a builder already has under construction. So the builder picks a certain lot, they start building a certain floor plan, they pick all the upgrades in that floor plan. Structurally speaking, you can't change anything. And then depending on the stage of construction and the builder, sometimes you can change some design upgrades, but obviously if it's towards the end of construction and the home's finished, they're usually not going to change anything in the home. So you're buying it as is in a lot of cases, but you tend to get better pricing, especially when it's towards the end of construction, because the builder is very motivated to get a buyer under contract on that home to get their money out of that home. Because if you can imagine, builders don't get paid anything until the home actually closes with a buyer, and that's when they can use that money to put into future expansion, more communities, more homes. And being that this is such a capital intensive business, builders are not always trying to maximize profit out of every home. And I have so many examples of what this can look like because there are some variables that I'm tracking. One of them is supply. When there's a lot of supply of homes that pick up in a certain neighborhood and a lot of those homes are finished, that's when you can start making offers on some of these homes that are for sale with these various builders. But it all depends on timing, supply, and how motivated that builder is for that specific home. Now, for this specific home, it's a model home that's not for sale, but it's just for representation purposes if you want to build this home in certain communities across the Austin metro area. Now, if you want a home for sale, then let's move to the Tremolite plan with Taylor Morrison Homes. This is built in Santa Rita Ranch, and it is currently for sale at $743,968, or better stated, just under $744,000. Now, this home is over 3,500 square feet, has 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, and I'm going to walk you through what Taylor Morrison is doing in this community compared to the other 10 to 12 builders that are actively building in this master plan community. Now, this is a new floor plan, but it has some similarities to a very popular plan that Taylor Morrison's been building for years called the Sapphire plan. For this plan, the Tremolite plan, it has a side entrance for the front door. So instead of being, facing out to the road, you end up having this side entrance, and then this study faces out to the front of the home. Now, we'll get back to this study as well as this dining area that are at the front of the home. We'll walk through each of these rooms in detail so you understand what you can get at this price point. And we'll talk a lot about price points in this community because there's so many different options. You can buy in as low as the 400s in Santa Rita Ranch, and it goes as high as $1.5 million. And I've had clients close at various price points in this community. I've worked with almost every builder in this community, so we'll talk all about that throughout this video. As you can tell, what a lot of people love about the Tremolite plan are these tall ceilings in the living room, and those windows on top of windows just opens up that space so well into the backyard. And backing up to trees in a backyard like this, for a lot of my clients, it's the dream. Getting that privacy that they want is fantastic, and there's so many different lots that are here in Santa Rita Ranch, including a lot of greenbelt lots that are for sale at the time I'm recording this video. And we're going to start right here in the kitchen because this is the unique part of this Tremolite plan. We have a kitchen island that faces out to the backyard. For a lot of my clients that say they spend time in the kitchen and they want to be able to see their kids in their backyard playing, or they're planning on putting a pool in the backyard, and so having that visibility right from their kitchen to their backyard is important. Or they just say, hey, having it open to a breakfast nook and living room just makes the space feel so open. This is one of the plans that I like showing them, and there are a couple other plans with Taylor Morrison, some other builders that do this really well. But I think what's always missing with some of these open concept homes is privacy. And so while we look at the pantry, and then I want to take a quick look at the 2-car garage that's here, I'll mention that privacy is also very important for a lot of my clients, because if you don't get privacy in your own home when you want it, then it feels like you're living on top of each other, right? And that might be the case when you have parents staying with you that are staying with you on the first floor. It might be when you have kids and you're constantly hearing people in your house and you feel like you're living right next to them and there's no privacy. And so for a lot of these builds, I look at the rooms that are offered in these homes. And so, for example, some homes, all the bedrooms are kind of piled in together next to each other, especially like the spare bedrooms, and then they all share one full bathroom, and then the game room is right next to those bedrooms. And so none of these areas feel private from each other. And what I'm hearing people say about these plans, like the Tremolite plan, as well as a plan that my client closed on down the street from here with Taylor Morrison, is they're open concept, but you still get the bedrooms that you want and the common areas that you want that are private from each other. So for this specific plan, we're looking at the breakfast nook area. There is a utility room and then a second spare bedroom with an in-suite full bathroom just to the left of this breakfast nook area. So it is, I would say, a little bit tight for a big table, like a 6-seater table, just because there's various doors that you need to be able to open up into that breakfast nook. But for rooms, we have 2 bedrooms downstairs, 3 bedrooms upstairs. We're going to see a game room and a media room upstairs that's very private from the rest of the other areas of the home. And then we have a dining area and that study that's away from the common area here on the first floor. So there's some good privacy in this home and a fantastic backyard. Now, I want to know your perspective on this. There is a roadway in the back there, but it's a road that's on the inside of this community of Santa Rita Ranch. So I wouldn't expect people going too fast, like over 20, 30 miles per hour on that road. And it's not right behind the home, right? There is a walkway there. There's some trees. And so there's some good what I would call privacy. It's not like you're looking at a bunch of neighbors, but as you can tell by my shot here, there are cars driving back there. So I want to know your perspective of what you think about that. From my clients' perspectives, what they always say is backing up to privacy is ideal, but sometimes that does come with a little bit more of a lot premium, especially if you're building from scratch. And so if they end up backing up to neighbors and they really want privacy, if you plant trees right after you close, and then you need maybe like a year or 2 for them to grow in, that can also get you some great privacy in there. For the living room, what I always hear from people is the tall ceilings is what really seals the deal for them. But as you saw there was some electrical up on the wall to put a TV. And this is what I want people to imagine. Imagine being on your sofa here, and off your left shoulder, there's 8 windows that just open up that space into the backyard. And then you have your TV right there. You have nothing but tall ceilings, and that is a great hangout area. As we curl around the corner, this is where we have the primary bedroom that will have a primary bathroom. And while we're in here, I want to talk about this community, why people keep moving out to this top selling community. It's the top selling based on units sold in the Austin metro area. And I'll also talk about the one reason why people may not want to move to Santa Rita Ranch. So we'll go through both here while we're in the primary bedroom, which does have electrical on the wall for a TV as well. And then while we're here in the primary bathroom. Now, the top 3 reasons, in my opinion, why people move out to this area, in no particular order, it starts with schools. They have a lot of on-site schools. There are 2 different school districts, Liberty Hill ISD and Georgetown ISD. ISD is independent school district, by the way. And both of those schools have on-site elementary schools either being built right now in the neighborhood or already completed. In fact, Liberty Hill ISD is going to have their second elementary school already in the neighborhood that's currently being built, and then a middle school has already been built in the neighborhood. Now, those school districts are a bit different from each other. Instead of explaining it in a home tour video, reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video, and I can show you the trends that are happening within those school districts and what I think will happen. I can't speculate too much on a public-facing video, but I can tell you what I'm seeing on the front lines, being that I'm working with so many clients that are looking at these areas, and I can tell you what their experiences are having kids in these various schools. The other big reason is on-site amenities. Santa Rita Ranch just completed their 3rd amenity center inside the neighborhood. And that 3rd amenity center doubled the size of the largest amenity center that they had, which was already large to begin with. Had 4 acres, and now they're at 8 acres on their 3rd amenity center. It's got 3 pools, it's got pickleball courts, and what Santa Rita Ranch loves to do is run events around these amenity centers. Sometimes those events are simple, like a couple food trucks around the amenity center just to get people outside their home, meeting other people in the community. Sometimes it's goat yoga in the park. Sometimes it's around the holidays, they do a lighting ceremony. Sometimes they do, during the holidays, they put a fake snow up a hill and have kids tube down the hill, and adults. And there's so many different fun things that Santa Rita does that makes it stand out as a community. And that really always starts with the on-site amenities, where they just take things to a whole nother level. Now, while we're in the utility room, and then I'm going to show you this second spare bedroom that has an in-suite full bathroom that's perfect for parents or anybody staying with you that you want staying with you on the first floor. I'll just cover the third main reason, which I think has probably become the most important. So many of my clients tell me they're okay living out in the suburbs. They might be a tech worker that's on a hybrid, work schedule where they only have to commute to work 3 days a week, and they want to be north of where Apple's building their second headquarters, or Amazon or Microsoft, or maybe they're in tech and they work from home, but they might try to transfer to one of those big tech companies in the future. These are some of the communities they look for, but they always tell me, hey, I don't want to feel like I'm living way out there in the country where it's just me and a bunch of cows, right? And for so many people that say that, where they're willing to go to the outskirts of the Austin metro, but they don't want to feel like they're just out in the middle of nowhere in a country area, this is one of those communities that is very desirable for a couple of reasons. Number one, they upgraded the internet inside the community. Not all phases have that, so definitely check in with a realtor like me or the builder agent that you're working with to see if that upgraded internet is on the lot that you're buying or a home that you're buying, because this is a very recent event. At the time I'm recording this video, they just upgraded it, so they have to go back in the ground. It's not as easy as just clicking a button. It's actually a lot of complex work, but they are working on it because they know they have a lot of people coming out to this community that work from home. Now, pricing is the other big factor, where people tell me, hey, I want the best price. I want my dollar to go as far as possible, but I don't want to go so far out where I feel like I'm in the country. They end up landing in this community because there's so much inventory that tends to keep pricing relatively low compared to other communities south of here that are a little bit closer to the city. And that's what's driving a lot of growth to this community. And that's why it is the top selling community in the Austin metro based on units sold as of last year and the year before that. And I'm pretty sure the year before that, I think it's 3 years running now, top selling master plan community based on units sold. And it's hitting that sweet spot for price, for what value you're getting. And that's a factor that I think everybody needs to analyze. Now, getting back into the plan, what Taylor Morrison's done a little bit differently here is we have a dining room right off the front of the home. So these 3 windows look right off the front of the home. I actually have a client just down the street from there that built from scratch, and that's their second home that they have in Santa Rita Ranch. They just bought their forever home, around 3,600 square feet, and their first home was more around like 2,200 square feet, and they held it as a rental because they believe in the future of this community. They've also had multiple cousins and friends buy in the community and kind of follow them here to Austin because they just raved about this community and the lifestyle that they can get living out here for the price. Now, this is also the study on the front of the home, which is not unique. I have a lot of plans that have a study off the front. What's different, though, is you have the front entrance kind of wrapping around this study. And I'm not sure how many people would feel about this, because if you put your desk in the center of this room, then everybody, like your Amazon delivery guy delivering a package to the front door, they're all gonna walking around those windows behind you. Obviously, that won't make much of a difference if you have those curtains pulled, but if you want to have the sunlight come in, I'm not sure how the facing of that study would make sense. Maybe you have your desk facing out to the front of the home with those windows open. By the way, that's a look at the powder bathroom, and then we have a storage closet underneath the stairwell. Going back to that study, though, this is something that's really important because people tell me they want privacy. They want to be away from the common areas of the home because they're working, right? They don't want too much noise. They don't want to feel like they're working and then somebody's like blasting a ball game, or they feel like they're working on top of other people. So that's something that I find is a big topic of discussion for a lot of my clients when they're looking at homes like this. Now, what's another big topic is what Taylor Morrison is doing differently on their 60-foot wide lots in the mid 3,000s for square footage compared to other builders. For this inventory home, and you might have saw it when I got to the top of that stairwell, looking down on that flooring, they actually did a hardwood flooring, and you can tell that it's hardwood because the knots on the flooring look very different from each other. If you start to see the similar knots on the flooring, that means it's usually like a luxury vinyl plank that's made to kind of look like wood, but it's not. You also have this game room that's on the back left of the home that looks to that beautiful view of those trees beyond the backyard of this home. This is a little bit different from most open concept plans where the game room is usually like more of a loft and is open into the living room. So for a lot of my clients that want privacy up here, maybe their kids are playing up here and they don't want to feel like they're always hearing their kids while you're in the kitchen, or maybe when you're in the living room, or if you're in the study, having that in a closed off area is important. This is also important, a media room that has no windows on it, so you can put couches right up against this back wall. And that's exactly how they made this specific room. You see a lot of white caps on the ceiling, and then you see a outlet right here. That's because this room is already pre-wired for speakers, and then that outlet that's on the ceiling is put there for a projector. So you can put a projector right there, and then wrap a L-shaped couch around the edges of that media room. And that's what a lot of my clients do if they want that theater experience in that media room. Now, while we're up here touring through the rest of the bedrooms that are upstairs, one thing I want to talk about is the difference between the suburbs north of Austin, Texas compared to south of Austin, Texas. Here in Santa Rita Ranch, the big factor that's playing a role in the development that's happened along this northwest corridor of the Austin Metro are jobs. There are big tech companies that decided to put their second headquarters here. For example, Apple is 15 miles northwest of the downtown Austin area. Apple is on track to have the capacity to grow to be the largest private employer in all of Austin. Right now, the largest private employer is either a grocery store, H-E-B, or Dell. Dell's headquarters is also 20 miles north of downtown Austin. And so those companies, along with Amazon and Microsoft, Visa, these are big companies that are in the north and northwest corridor of Austin, and that's what's really driving a lot of growth here. So the advantage is you have a lot of developments that are coming close by because developments and businesses want to be around these huge master plan communities. So it's a lot more livable, but it does come with more of a price tag. For example, this home is listed just under $744,000, but at the time I'm recording this video, in Six Creeks, the neighborhood that we were talking about earlier, where we saw that Bordeaux plan, currently they have a home just under 3,300 square feet, and that home is for sale at $614,000. Now that's fairly typical. I mean, it's less square footage, a couple hundred square feet less, but still it's a lot less expensive because that's Kyle, Texas, a suburb south of Austin, compared to where we are, Liberty Hill, Texas, which is in North Austin. And this is a community that's around, depending on traffic, around 35 minutes drive to Apple's second headquarters, and then maybe a little bit further to get to Microsoft, Amazon, Visa. Two children's hospitals are being built south of here that are around 25 minutes away from this community. So this is in a key spot where there's a lot of growth, a lot of jobs still coming to the North Austin area. There are jobs coming to South Austin, but just not as many as North Austin, and that's where you see the difference in price between the two suburbs. There's also a difference in options. There are many master plan communities around the Austin metro area, north or south, but if you're looking at more forever homes, somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 square feet, usually built on 60, 70, 80, 90 foot wide lots, that tends to be a lot more in the North Austin area where there are just more jobs, and where there is that job growth, there's a lot more forever homes. Forever homes meaning people tend to buy those homes, they don't buy them and then rent them, they buy them and then they stay in them long term. Now, I do have people living in both North and South Austin, and it just depends on your criteria. So reach out to me on the number at the bottom of the description of this video, text home there, and I'd be happy to get to know your criteria. I have a couple clients just moved in down the street from this home, but I also have a client that's just bought the Agave plan and is currently building it from scratch in the Six Creeks community in South Austin. And so I know the differences between both of these parts of the city. Even though I gave general information, I would like to give more information that's tailored to you. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. What did you think of the Bordeaux model home? What did you think of those lots that are coming up here in Travisso? Now, if you want to see actual homes for sale, that's going to be at my website at the top of the description of this video. So click there for all homes that are for sale. And then at the bottom of the description of this video is my number. Text or call me, introduce yourself, and I can get you access to the lots that are coming up here in Travisso, and also homes like this one that are behind me. This is actually the terracotta plan that is also open to the second story in the living room. So if you want a video of that, go ahead and reach out to me and I'll send that over to you. I have an unlisted video that's private that I can text back to you. Now, if you want to see another home that is with Taylor Morrison, go ahead and click right here. And as always, I hope this helps. Take care, everyone.